always 3 paces ahead of you.
It gives you something to think about.
It's an amazing thing.
This is gonna kill.
3, 2, 1, bang!
I wrote the premise of Looper more than 10 years ago. I wrote it as a short film for Joseph Gordon-Levitt shortly after we made Brick, actually, the first movie we made together.
Which is the first time that's ever happened for me as an actor, that a screenwriter actually wrote a part for me to play, and that was a great honor.
When Rian sent me like a page and a half of his idea for a short, and he thought about making it as a feature, I said, people are gonna go crazy over it. Let's go do this.
I've been involved with it for years, and I was part of getting it up on its feet and off the ground and making it happen and convincing people that it would be a good idea to spend large sums of money, giving Rian a big budget to make a big sci-fi movie.
I read it the first day I got it, and I said yes that day. That was my reaction.
Action!
It's the most tightly woven, challengingly complex thriller. You're almost applauding yourself for sort of keeping up with it.
I heard that Rian Johnson was making another film, and I like his movies and think he's a super talented guy, so I inquired as to if there were any parts for a young man.
I couldn't. I had to see.
I think the film is just in general super badass.
It manages to tell a story that has universal feelings and universal emotions. I wanted you to say I did good. That's all I wanted.
These are all really lonely people, and I think, you know, when you don't have any, it's all that old thing about when you don't have anything to lose, you're the most dangerous man.
Piper is a phenomenal actor, and what she brought to the part was, I think you see when her scenes with Joe happen that she is very much like Joe. She is doing her job.
Hey, Suzie.
Hey.
You're working a shift tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, but a Gap man bought me out already for the night.
Oh.
Sweetie, I gotta work.
I play Sarah, who is a very tough girl who lives an incredibly isolated existence on a farm.
I think it's a really great character for Emily to play because it's really different than how I've seen her in other movies before.
And action!
Yeah, you're right, I'm not a killer. But I'm fine with how a blast of rock salt to your face won't kill you. Now you're gonna tell me who you are and what you're doing on my farm.
It's just great to see her being a badass.
All right.
We found this incredible young actor, Pierce Gagnon. The second he sat down for his first read, I kind of just realized that we had found our Sid.
8 times 3 is what?
32.
8 times 3 is what?
32.
I want you to count 3 8s.
8, 16, 32.
He would come in and he would sit down and he would do a 3-page long dialogue scene all the way through and just nail it. And then you would like give him direction, you would give him an adjustment for partway through the scene, and he would do the scene again and do that adjustment. It was uncanny to watch.
When I was a baby, I couldn't stop it.
Couldn't stop what?
I couldn't stop her from getting killed. I wasn't strong enough.
He's so good, he helps you raise your game. He's incredibly authentic and real. To show that kind of rage and those guts, you needed a spooky kid.
The movie obviously calls for an older and a younger version of the same character.
When you looked at the list, it was a very short list. You know, we went to Bruce and we got him.
I think every guy my age idolizes Bruce Willis a little bit.
Bruce is such a good actor and was so right for the part in so many ways. It raised a problem, though, because they really look nothing like each other.
The way we wanted to solve this was with actual practical effects rather than trying to do it with computers. Ryan's pretty big on trying to make it real. It was 3 hours in the makeup chair every morning.
I went into his trailer, no one had told me he was in prosthetics, so I remember thinking, he looks nothing like I imagined. So I was talking to him for about 20 minutes, and then I suddenly thought, oh my God, I'm not talking to Joe Gordon-Levitt, I'm talking to his stuntman or something, like, who am I talking to? And I came out and I said, he looks like, he's really different. And they said, yeah, he's in the makeup. And I was like, oh my God.
He doesn't imitate Bruce, he creates a character that feels like a younger Bruce in the movie. And so he's doing a very specific voice, and he took on a lot of Bruce's mannerisms.
You know, he worked really tirelessly to watch Bruce work and on his films and in interviews, just to see how he moved, how does he look, how does he check someone out, how does he do all of those things. It was incredibly detailed work.
We both know how this has to go down. I can't let you walk away from this diner alive. So why don't you do what old men do and die?
Why don't you just take your little gun out between your legs and do it, boy?
I just love what he did in this film. He picked up some of my cadence of speaking.
We were in the middle of doing one of our scenes together, and in between takes, at some point, he's just subtly, he's like, man, you sound like me. And I, you know, trying to play it cool, I'm like, oh, thanks, dude. And inside, I'm like, fucking yeah!
The approach was always, let's make it as grounded as possible, not go with like heavy CG, and try to shoot elements in a practical way. For example, you see all the stuff that's floating. A lot of people are doing it digitally. We did it practically. So it's with like old school special effects. It's just about really just erasing cable.
It was my first time on a wire. It was really fun. I'm floating in the air in the middle of this beautiful cane field, and Bruce Willis is on a wire behind me somewhere, dangling around.
There are a few flying vehicles. It's not like everything's flying, but there are a few, and those were usually done with a real solid practical thing on a rod.
Rian, he's my favorite director ever.
Even though he's making these great genre sci-fi movies, his priority is on the character, is on the acting, on making it feel real.
He knew exactly what he was doing and what he wanted, and he just shot the film that was in his head.
I buy anything Rian Johnson sells.
Script and director, that's, you know, what it is.
The worlds are never the same in his movies, but there's some guts in it. It's the way he treats men, it's the way he treats women, it's the way characters express themselves that all build up to this Rian Johnson world.
It's not one of these glitzy CG sci-fi worlds. It actually feels like something that could exist in 30 years, which is actually kind of frightening.
Kind of scary.